This week on the Paul G. Johnson show, Photo Nerds, Gary finds the record button on his audio and I'm told to shut up.
Right, so before we get going, let's just explain why it's been a little bit sporadic in terms of us posting new podcasts.
Yeah, it's because the audio was naff. Well, when we say the audio was naff...
Gary's audio is naff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, allegedly my audio was naff.
Yeah. Allegedly, nothing. He didn't record
allegedly
for the first 10 minutes of one of them.
No, because I keep forgetting to press a button. Because you've got to press a button twice. It's not easy to remember that at my age.
Two buttons.
No, one button twice. I think that was confusing.
One button twice, It needs to have a press me and then press me again underneath it.
No, in the old days, in the old cassette recorder, it used to be a play button and a record, and you'd press them both down at the same time. Can you remember?
What's a cassette recorder?
Go back to the old days.
Right, so we've changed the formats ever so slightly because we want to concentrate more on the audio than we do on the visual aspect. So therefore, anybody watching us on YouTube now will only get one camera angle, and that's it. Because we're assuming if you want to listen to us or want to watch us on YouTube, you're not going to sit there gawking at lots of different camera angles. You're literally going to, I imagine, put your device in the corner, turn your speakers up, get on with your life, and listen to us moaning in the background.
That's it.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Well, let's do it. Let's hope for that.
And then it means that we can hopefully get these out
we
more.
can do it more often then,
more regularly.
Yeah.
And we're also going to try and be a little bit better with mic etiquette. So we're going to try and not talk
Mic
over
etiquette.
Try and not talk.
I wonder if there's somebody called Mic etiquette.
Try and not talk over each other.
Do you not? Is that not? I don't understand.
Or just generally talk lots.
Mic etiquette is if I'm talking, you wait until I take a breath before you.
Yeah, but we'd never be able to speak. It'd be over then. It'd just be a show about Paul G. Johnson.
Who got the comment last time about?
Only because you're paying them to. It's not legit, is it? It's
There's never been any comment about me talking too much. Just you two.
Anyway,
Gareth.
Can I do a shout out for Instagram so people can follow? If you listen to the Photo Nerds, follow us on Instagram. Photo Nerds at Photo Nerds 2. Yeah, believe it or not, there's loads of other Instagram Photo Nerds channels. Mad. So yeah, if you're not following us on Instagram,
is that 2 TWO or the number 2?
Number 2. Yeah.
Okay, the number 2
for 3 of us.
The number 2. Right, Gareth, what have you been up to?
A lot of commercial work recently. I've got an event in London next month. Which you've just reminded me I needed to do something. The first week of March we've got an event. So doing some last minute marketing images for some clients. Come on in. Yeah.
Is that it?
Thanks for the sandwiches.
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
Give us a brief insight when you say commercial work. What is it you're doing exactly?
I work with a lot of schools and music companies, basically. So like Yamaha, when they provide musical instruments for schools, if it's a big installation, I'll often film the installation process and do the photography, and then we've got an exhibition. One of the piano companies has got an exhibition in Olympia in London next month, so I'll provide the massive images for that, and I design the stand and that sort of thing. So
do you go down and do a time lapse of getting everything set up? Is that
I did the very first time, but what happened was there was just so many people there setting their stands up. The time lapse was a joke, and everything just got moved left, right, and centre. So the time lapse didn't work, but it did do. It's a really, really cool stand actually. Yeah.
Can you play?
Not at all. I know everything about a piano, but half how to play one.
And you say a big installation. When you say a big installation, do you mean really, really big piano?
Yeah, but they sometimes have 30, 40 pianos.
Right.
All of them very
big.
In
a school?
So they spend millions of pounds on pianos.
In a school?
Yeah. Private schools.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So but it's considered in high in the top education schools of the country. They consider music to be pretty much as important as the most. It's one of the most important. Lessons, because they think if a student's got the ability to concentrate on learning music, they'll be able to apply that methodology
you use the term top then.
So like private schools.
Yeah, but they're not
schools.
necessarily top. I mean, I'm not tarring everybody with the same brush, but I know a few people who've come out of private school that are thick as bricks.
No offence.
Yeah. Did you go to private school?
No, I didn't. No. Didn't go to school.
No, neither did I.
The criminal record said I broke in twice, but I've never been.
Did you go to private school, Gary?
No, there is. I went to a special school, surprisingly. No, you need to point out there's a massive difference between thick as pig's crap and no common sense, because a lot of people could be super intelligent,
Absolutely.
but no common sense.
Academic. Well, yeah. So it's anyway. Back to the photography part of it. I do the photographs, make all the, because when they spend an awful lot of money on these installations, they want it all publicised, because obviously it brings in an awful lot of people, especially students from around the world. So they want the videos, they want the photography for that. So yeah, it's good. It's a bit, you know, it's the piano industry, isn't it? But yeah, it's different. It's different. It gets to meet some cool people.
Yeah, well, like who?
Only cool people in the piano industry.
Oh, right, okay.
People I don't know, but I know they're cool.
Yeah. So you don't meet any professional musicians or anything like that? Like singers?
Elton John.
Oh, not yet. Although he's a Yamaha musician, I haven't met him
Is
yet.
it? Have you not met him? So,
No.
so have you met anyone famous through it?
Yeah.
How could he be a Yamaha musician? What does that mean?
He's sponsored by Yamaha.
Oh, sponsored by Yamaha. Okay.
Like Jamie Cullum is another one, and then you'll have Steinway musicians as well.
Have you met Jamie Cullum?
No.
Who have you met?
School children.
No one you know. Lang Lang. If anyone's listening, they know. I met Lang Lang. He's pretty much the biggest name in the piano, in classical piano. A guy called Lang Lang.
All right.
Really nice guy. Actually, I met him. Bill Bailey. It turns out that, do you know Al Murray, the comedian? He's a very musical.
You met him?
Yeah.
like
Harry the piano is one of my favourite people I've ever met. He's an absolute
Harry the
genius
piano.
on the piano. I photographed an event for him. He's incredible. He can play like you ask him to play like Tchaikovsky in the style of Bart Simpson or something like that, and he'll do it on the spot. You know, there's no. It's incredible.
In
So
the
yeah,
style of Bart Simpson?
anything like
Yeah, I've got you. You mean the Simpsons?
That's it. Yeah. So incredible talent, and it's good because I don't know if I could be that good at photography. I would be awesome. It would be awesome. But the thing is, it's something to aspire to. When you see these people on stage and they're singing or they're dancing or whatever they're doing, it's sort of like they're at the top of their game. Can you imagine what that would be like if you were at the top of your game as a photographer or a designer or whatever?
No, I can't imagine. But what I do imagine, I imagine that would be a great time to own something like a mirrorless camera that's super, super quiet while you take pictures. And not that big clunky old mirrored cameras.
Oh, those DSLRs, those noisy DSLRs. You want to get a D850, you can switch it off and make it like a mirrorless camera.
That's completely silent. That doesn't. That's got a leaf shutter lens.
You're saying
so
that.
it doesn't make a sound at all.
For the people that are listening and not watching.
This is the brand new Fujifilm X100V. So a little fixed camera, mirrorless 35mm thing. Which is.
And my first impressions. It looked really good until
beautiful.
I picked it up and tried to use it.
It didn't have a battery in it. I don't think.
Then it's just stupid.
I didn't give it you with a
Why
battery.
is it stupid, Gary? What do you not like about it?
They've changed my photography. This camera is probably one of those cameras that's changed my photography. It's one of those things that, you know, if you had a sports car, you'd want to drive it all the time, even though you couldn't go to work in it all the time. You've got to take the Golf or you've got to take the Mondeo or whatever. Whereas this camera is one of them ones that I can use it for work, even though it's a fixed lens. But it's such a nice camera to use.
It looks like a Leica.
Yeah.
My first impression.
In the way that it's a rangefinder, I suppose. Yeah, it's a little rangefinder, fixed lens camera. Yeah.
It's a beautiful looking thing.
Yeah, very pretty. They say cameras are like their owners.
Why has it changed? Why do you want to use that all the time? What is it about it? Because to me it looks like a camera.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Fujifilm system has changed my photography approach anyway, because I always enjoy using the cameras. I say, well, if I have to use the Sony, I never enjoy using it as much, even though it's a more powerful camera. Whereas the Fuji isn't as sort of reliable, isn't as fast, isn't as powerful. But the experience of using it, and when you look back at the pictures, the colours are so much nicer. I really enjoy it. But this thing is, because it's so small, it goes in your pocket. I mean, it's great for street photography because it just you can carry it around all day with a strap around it.
Is it a professional camera?
I would never call a professional camera with one card
So you
slot,
wouldn't,
but it's weatherproof.
Oh, right,
it's weather sealed.
So would you turn up to shoot a wedding with it?
As I always have this around my shoulders with a little thing, Peak Design strap around me, and then I'll have my two main cameras with primes on. But if one of the cameras has to have like a zoom or something, like a 5140 zoom put on it, I've still got a 35mm f2 around my neck. So this will stay around my neck at all times. Even if I'm paid by a client only to film an event, I'll always have this round mount. But so at the end of the video, at the end of the event, I can always say, here's some photographs I've taken as well. So it doesn't get in the way, it doesn't weigh anything.
Bear in mind, you only picked it up 2 days ago.
Yeah, but I had one before, identical.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, this is the second. This is the third version of this camera I've had. So the V stands for 5, so it's the 5th version. So they did an X100, X100S, TF, and now the V.
So what's that? What's the advantage to that over the
weather sealing and a better lens,
right.
and it's got a flip-out screen as well. So it's got the tilty screen on the back. But
Can you vlog with it?
mean, it's a 35mm, so you'd have a job. How long's your arm? You'd have to. It's got amazing face detect, so you could. There's no reason why you couldn't.
Cool. Why do you not like it, Gary?
Too small, I suppose, is it?
No, it's not that. You said instantly, guys. The shutter speed is on top, the dial is on top, and I said there's no thirds on there. They're just in straight stops. And you said, yeah, because you have to adjust the dial on the back if you want to adjust the thirds. And none of that makes sense to me. Why isn't it just all on the one dial? It is on every other camera.
It is on one dial if you put that dial to T and then use the back one. Then it is all on one dial. You take the shutter away from that and you put it on the back wheel like you would any other camera. They're fully customizable. This would work the same way as your Canon would, pretty much. Aperture's obviously on the ring. You can have your ISO there. You can have your ISO on the back. They're fully customizable.
A beautiful looking thing, but to me that looks as if that should be in your bag to take on holiday with you. I might be wrong, by the way. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I do love it. I do love it traveling. It's a phenomenal camera if I go traveling.
It looks like great for street photography.
Yeah, I love it,
especially with the f2 on it.
Yeah. And especially now it's weather sealed as well. It's really cool. And the f2 lens on the old ones was never that sharp, whereas they've massively improved the sharpness now. So
it's not in your face, is it? That's what.
No, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't like you get big SLRs, and I mean it's just as powerful as the next T3.
How much are they?
The same set, about £1,300.
Oh, it's a lot of money in it for a fixed lens camera. But then if you look,
I can't understand. I can't work out what I know. This is one of the things we're going to discuss, but I can't work out what they would have to put in the next version of this for me to buy it, because it's got everything now as a street photographer and as a how
cropped is it?
It's just 1.5. It's just the same. It's just an X-Trans 26 megapixel, I think they are. But the only thing that they could put on this now, and I think they should put on every camera, is a built-in memory. Built-in memory is the only thing that would make. I can't think of anything.
They don't have that in any cameras, though, do they?
It really annoys me. It really annoys. Always has done for the last couple of 5 years. I don't understand why cameras have come out with one card slot without having a tiny, not like as a fast buffer or just as a redundancy. I don't understand why cameras don't have a built-in, non-removable 100 gig, 50, 60 gig, whatever. I don't understand it because one card slot in a Nikon or Canon these days is just, or even this, it's just not usable. Especially for the money, as a professional, I would never use a single card slot camera.
It would even help with the buffering. If you wanted to overuse it, because it's going to write to an inbuilt card much quicker than it's going to write to an SD card, isn't it?
Yeah, but there goes the problem of then double shifting the information from the buffer to the card. So it has to probably do both at the same time.
No. If you wanted to use that now and shoot 10, 15 frames per second, then if you've got a standard SD, or even if you had a fast SD card in there, the chances are the camera at some point is going to buffer. So at that point, you click the button to actually record to the hard drive built into the camera. Does that make sense? So on burst, it would record to its own memory card.
I just think if you look at a micro SD card, if you take the plastic bit off the micro SD card, just leave the foil, that's the only part of the memory card that needs to stay in the camera. I don't understand why.
Yeah, they're minute, aren't they?
Is there a reason? There must be a reason. I remember.
Well, because they're not going to want the liability, are they? They're not. Cameras aren't going to want to say, right, okay, my camera's just died. It's got the backup memory on there. I need that file. They're not. But
that's the word, isn't it?
I think they're going to have
liability.
I think they're not going to want to accept the liability of that. I think that's crucial. But how does it differ with a mobile phone, Apple cellular phone, which you can't add memory to? Yeah, these cameras obviously don't give you the opposite of that.
I don't think you'd shoot a wedding with a phone though, so as you're saying,
no, but you go on holiday for 10 years or 5 years or whatever with all your family. Those pictures are just as important as to the owner.
Hey, that's some holiday. How much money do you earn?
Professional liability though, isn't it?
On holiday for 5 years.
Your life is a holiday.
Jesus.
It'll be professional liability, won't it? It'll be if you use that memory as a professional and then the memory fails. Then I presume that's the liability that we're talking about, not if I take.
But if it's solid state, I've never had an issue with my solid state hard drives.
They do fail.
I know they do, and this is the thing about XQD as well. They reckon that XQD isn't perfect and it has got glitches. I don't know anything with XQD, and it hasn't been out long enough really to. It took about 3 years of using an SD card before one failed on me, I think. So I'll just either way, it's
It's only a disclaimer button, though. At the end of the day, when you When you fire it up for the first time, no, if it had an inbuilt memory card, it just needs a disclaimer when you fire it up saying you have to agree that we don't take any responsibility should it fail if you're using it professionally. Click yes, then that's them covered, isn't it?
Yeah.
In theory.
Yeah, it's better than single car size. So yeah. I just don't understand why it's there.
Vlogging. Before we come on to you, Paul.
To me.
You were talking about what you've been doing professionally. What about vlogging?
I'd done a few videos. I went out and I did an amazing trip to London in the absolutely abysmal weather to see an exhibition of photography, a street photography exhibition with Mark Fernley, Sean Tucker.
I saw that.
There was a few. So that was phenomenal. I thought if I'm going away to London for this exhibition wasn't until 5 o'clock, so I'll do some street photography. The weather in Wales was just a joke, so I thought London would be great. It was just as bad. So street photography in the rain, but that was a really, really challenging vlog for me because I knew I had the pressure of obviously getting the photographs, and I knew that if I put my mind to it, I could do it.
Were you vlogging on your own?
Yeah.
Or you weren't with Sean? Or
No. I filmed a bit of the exhibition at the end where I got to meet the guys. But yeah, and they actually featured one of my videos in the exhibition. It was that was incredibly overwhelming. I've never had anything like that, so that's certainly a highlight for me. But then when Mark Fernley told me they were going to be using my video, I was like, yeah, whatever. Didn't think for a minute he was being serious, and then to find out that he was, it's absolutely incredible. So
was that the interview that you did with him?
Yeah, me and Mark Fernley, in London. Fantastic photographer. Again, a huge influence to my street photography, and I know a lot of people are influenced by his street photography. He's he's an artist as well as a person. He's a painter, and it does something to do with design as well, I think. So yeah, he's a very, very talented chap. But no, that was really good. I did a photo walk in Oxford as well. That's another vlog, which hopefully is coming out next week. So I met up with 10 I say subscribers. 10 people off Instagram
the 10 subscribers.
Yeah, the 10. I had to borrow some of yours.
I do like Mark. I love Mark's work, by the way. Before you,
digress. Oh no, he's a super nice guy as well. And I think that's the thing with social media is like you see these people and you don't really you don't really get to meet them because they become famous through Instagram or through these different platforms, but you never get to put a face to them. I remember the first time I met Mark, same with Sean Tucker. Obviously with Sean Tucker, you see him on YouTube, so it's different, but there's a few of these people that I follow on Instagram, and when I see them in this exhibition, it was really nice to put a face to them and actually hear these people speak that you think, hang on, I've been watching your work for such a long time. To actually put a face to them was really, 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 really nice. And a lot of them knew me as well, which is really, really nice as well. So yeah, it's really good. I think the street photography scene is changing, and Mo, the guy that organised the exhibition, was three street gallery it's called, and Mo and with Sean and I think Josh Jack is hopefully going to be putting some sort of meeting point in London, so street photographers from all over the world, that when they come to London they'll be able to gather there and meet up with people and see work and chat and stuff, just a hook-up point basically.
Be creative.
So, yeah, exactly. I think
sounds good.
It's amazing. It's really good. I think social media has made helped a lot of people come out of the shell, but it's with different genres of photography. But yeah, well, you don't get to meet them, do you? So,
no.
So the Oxford shoot was fantastic though. Really, never been to Oxford before. It was actually 9 guys, all good photographers, so that was really nice. They all knew what they were doing with the cameras, and yeah, all got some good images, and it was really, really good fun.
Do you all meet up at a weekend?
It was a Saturday and a Saturday, both of the videos were Saturday. Yeah, actually no, London was Thursday, because London was Thursday. With the exhibition was Thursday, but the photo walk in Oxford was Saturday. Yeah, really good. Busy though. Oxford was busy.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
If it's not a weekend, I'll come down next time. Will you?
Yeah.
I love London, especially for street.
Oh, street photography in London I think it's just you can't go 5 minutes without. I literally parked my car, ran into the shopping centre to get out of the rain, and found a shot straight away. Literally less than 5 minutes.
Yeah. You say you had some grief from an Irishman.
Nah, it wasn't grief as such. He thought he see me with the camera. He don't actually realise I was filming as well on the Osmo, on the little action camera. But he seen me with taking pictures, and he came over and he was really nice though, really nice. And most security, apart from when I'm with Gary, most security are lovely. So yeah, he was really, really nice, really nice guy. So he told me that you couldn't flash. Was he
security then?
Yeah, he was.
All right,
but
wasn't just some random Irish guy.
Yeah, no, he did work. He had the high vis jacket, so he must have been official. So no, he was a really nice guy. He talked more than me. I know, take that in.
You sure?
Yeah, so he was, but he said as long as I wasn't flashing, I could take photographs in the underground. I know you can't use tripods down there, but yeah. So you do get some really good street photography opportunities in the underground. So
Brilliant.
Yeah, I've done loads down there.
Yeah, it's good.
Cool, Paul.
What?
What have you been up to?
Not a lot, really.
This is only meant to be a quick minute. Quick minute slot at the
well, it'll
beginning
be a
of
quick
the
minute for me.
video.
I've been busy with life and a poorly mum, so I've not been out. Certainly not vlogging.
You've been posting a lot of pictures on Instagram. Though.
Absolutely,
A lot of your street-
yeah. My subject this year has been more trees, you're right, and woodland. That's because I've got the time to go out with the dogs and shoot trees. But what I've done with Instagram is I made a New Year's resolution that rather than producing pictures that maybe for other people's, what other people are like and the way that I edit them, I'm actually producing images and editing them the way I like.
Yeah, but you've definitely changed your editing style.
Yes, because my editing style for when I did for YouTube was to appeal possibly to other people rather than the style that I like. So my New Year's resolution was to make sure that.
Yeah, but they're really nice.
I
They're
find
really
it really
nice.
interesting. I mean, if it's not commercial, I always edit pictures my way.
Yes.
If it's commercial, then I've got to do a more generic looking thing.
But I definitely got influenced and swayed.
Who would you say was an influence for your editing there? Is there somebody you watch or somebody you see and think that's how an image should be?
It was just I was trying to make the images more middle of the road and not a little bit out there. So I've gone to town a little bit with my split toning, which is traditionally what I've always done. And I've just thought.
I've never tried split toning.
Yeah, I split tone woodland shots.
Yeah.
It looks like that you've added LUTs.
Right.
That's basically what it is, though,
images.
isn't it? You start off with a raw file.
Yeah. But I mean, with talking about editing, is a lot of people will always ask people, how do you edit? And then people will say, oh, well, I don't do much editing. Well, looking at the images that I see, particularly woodland, they are editing those images. Those images are being edited.
Of course.
But the thing is I'm doing, with my editing, where I would traditionally take the sliders, I'm doing the opposite. So contrast is being taken to the left, clarity has been taken to the left, dehaze is being taken to the left. And that's traditionally where I've always been. But my photography style changed when I started. Not going to say being successful, but more people watched on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I tried to make things safe, whereas I'm doing it more for myself now. And as you say, it's proving popular. But the only other thing that I've done is I went to Batley Camera Club on Tuesday and did a talk there. And I've just got to say a big shout out to the people at Batley. They were really, really friendly. And
is that local then, is it?
It is. But have you ever heard of Batley for Variety Club?
No.
Yeah, well, it's a famous
Sounds like a
club.
hoop.
Well, that's all back in the 60s and 70s.
Oh,
Anybody
you
who was
youngsters.
anybody, Frank Sinatra and everybody used to go to Batley.
No way.
Variety Club.
And now you've been there.
And I didn't go to the Variety Club. I went to the community centre, which is nearby.
Not quite as glamorous then.
Yeah, I think that 70 or 80% of the people in the club are portrait photographers. And what was really
They
nice...
photograph each other?
Pardon?
Well, who do they photograph when they're portrait photographers?
I have no idea, but the people, I don't know. I don't know
yeah.
if they get models in and take pictures. But what was interesting is what I've always said with my channel, with the YouTube channel, and also on Instagram as well, and I said this when we were talking, is one of my main drivers to do it is to inspire people to go out. If Muggins can do it, with my skill set can do it, then inspire them to get out and shoot. And what was nice is at the end of the talk, a couple of 3 people came up to me, said I never thought about shooting in the woodland, and because that's what the talk was about, or some of it. But I'm going to go and give it a go. So thanks for that, and that was nice. But really, really nice bunch of
it's nice to hear the feedback, isn't it?
Yeah. And they told me this because Gary's done it, haven't you? And they said, I said, how long do you want me to talk for? They said an hour and a half. But Gary was going over 2 hours, and we had to drag him off.
Kicking and screaming.
It's true.
I said, I'm going to struggle to talk for an hour and a half, but I managed about 1 hour 20 or something like that, rabbiting on. But the people didn't walk out, so I was happy.
They better not ask me then.
They didn't get up and walk out. So yeah, so that's me. It's been more Instagram and not so many vlogs, but I know that there are successful vloggers that don't vlog week in, week out. And
I've gone weekly.
I'm an unsuccessful vlogger that's not we're doing it week in, week out at the moment.
Yeah. So you talk about editing. Do you ever edit old photographs and look at the one you edited the first time, and then look at the second one? You're like, what was I doing the first time I edited that photograph?
All the time.
It's a bit cringing, isn't it?
All the time. I've been looking at some of my images, particularly the images that I put on YouTube, and I've got to say, I wonder why people have been watching.
Yeah.
Because that is not the way I've edited those images is not the way I edit. It is not my best work at all. As I say, I don't know what was restricting me and what was telling me that was the best content to put out. Because I've even gone back to the images that are on YouTube and re-edited them my way. Yeah. And I far prefer them, but maybe it's a confidence thing. Maybe it's like we talked about the Batley Camera Club. These guys have got some guts, because they'll take an image, they'll print it, they'll put it on the wall, and then everybody's walking around in competitions. I've been, big deal, I've been one of the biggest things is with YouTube, because don't forget, you two guys are professional photographers, and what I mean by that is you're used to producing these awesome images. Is with myself, it's that imposter syndrome. Well, actually, I'm not really that good, and I'm putting this stuff out in the public, and people are going to realise it. And so what I've got to do is I've got to make sure I'm really safe with how I edit my images, and that led me down to, I was just going out, clicking the shutter, and not starting to enjoy what I was doing, because the images that I was getting weren't doing anything for me personally. So as I say, my New Year's resolution was, right, I'm shooting for me again.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
It's always a strange pressure, isn't it, when you're taking pictures that that is for a client. It's not like you.
I'm lucky I've got the regular clients.
Where you can make a mistake and so on. Well, even weddings, at the end of the day, you need to make sure all day you're at your best.
I think that is where consistency comes in. So when people, especially with Instagram, a lot of Instagrammers like to have their feed looking consistent, so their editing and their images. Even some people won't even put black and white and colour on the same page. That they have that sort of constant colour. And I think when somebody looks at your website, as long as your images on your website have a consistent standard and sort of style about them, they know what to expect. If those pictures were like taken 5 years ago, and all of a sudden you're on a different camera, or you use your editing process is completely different, or you even outsource the editing, you're going to get a completely different response back from the file. So I think as long as somebody can see a consistency. I actually lost a wedding once because somebody looked at my website and they knew me personally, and he says, "Oh, guys," says, it was actually a wedding in Santorini. I was devastated. I lost the wedding, and he says, "I love your photography." He says, "But the missus doesn't want black and white, so she's gone elsewhere." I went, "Right. What do you mean?" He says, "Oh, she went on your website and it's all black and white." I was like, "Yes, because it looks good on there. It says in the writing, it says you get a black and white and a colour version of the file. You get a both." "Are you serious?" He says, "Yeah, she's booked." So she's booked someone based over there, on the basis that she wanted the blue roofs and all that sort of thing, and yours are all black and white. I was like, it says in the writing, like, so I went on my website and I put a load of photographs on there in colour, quick, because I didn't think of that. No. Because I thought a website looked nice and monochromatic.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I noticed with Instagram is that there are certain images that are more popular than others, and black and white doesn't prove very popular, and the way I edit, particularly these days, but more of my images are desaturated, and it seems to be the more saturated, colourful images that seem to work better from a popularity point of view on Instagram. And I'll actually put in the comments section or in the little ditty or story that this isn't Instagram friendly, particularly when you're shooting trees. And what you'll find is that the subtle textures and the subtle tones don't come across on Instagram particularly.
You've got to be careful, because if you're shooting for you, as you said a minute ago,
that's it.
You've got to be careful that you don't put anything on Instagram that you're banking on some sort of success. And I'm happy to discuss this. It's something I'd like to try and get my head around. It's a good lead into how social media is influencing photography and whether or not it's good or bad for photography. Because I can't get my head around it, if I'm honest. I think there's a lot of time you see images that are getting a lot of likes, and there's a lot of people who get upset when they don't get the success that some people get. And I don't understand if you woke up with 1 million followers tomorrow, whether or not that, I don't understand it. I literally can't get my head around what the effort is all about.
You mentioned about what's popular and not. Again, on Instagram, I'm not putting. I'm not thinking, right, I want to get 10,000 followers or something like that. I'm not. I'm just putting out what I like. So I'm not worried if I don't get the likes, because you do. If I put a black and white image on it, it'll get a lot less likes than it will.
Are you bothered about your social media? Because you started doing your wedding. You started a wedding Instagram page.
Yeah, I do think it's important. I think it's really important. But not only that, as a general rule, more followers equals more money.
Does it?
As a general, well, yeah, because I suppose people are drawn in by influencers. You know, I'm an influencer. Let me teach you how to get 10. Let me teach you how to get 20,000. Right. You know, and so they're making money off the back of that. So I can only assume that people who want their egos massaged by posting constantly, maybe that's their end goal at the end of the day. But even you as a professional photographer, or even you, Paul, at the end of the day, if you want to be popular, at the end of the day, you'd like to think you do have lots of followers on social media.
Yeah, but you can't always quantify that, can you? Because some images that are absolute rubbish.
Absolutely, agree totally.
I mean, and obviously I get approached, I don't know if you guys do, but I get approached all the time about people trying to sell me followers on Instagram. And
never understood.
I don't understand, because they're not. It's robots anyway. So that number, Instagram and all this. I think Instagram is extremely powerful for if you're going to a location, and if I'm going to some part of France or whatever, and I type in, like you mentioned, the lavender fields. If you jump onto Instagram, you're going to see some fantastic ideas. So it's incredibly, as a research tool,
agree totally.
Couldn't be without
That's primarily why I use Instagram.
It's
like, inspiration from other photographers and to see the locations that they're shooting at.
But I read this or see it on YouTube thing, maybe both. I seen a guy lost a contract. A photographer lost his contract with a product company because they wanted to use somebody. They discovered a photographer who had a massive Instagram base, and they knew that if they didn't have this guy and had this other guy, he was going to come around and do an Instagram live. He's going to do all this stuff on his feed, and it's marketing for free that they wouldn't have got off this other guy. So, but the annoying part of it is that, and it's really, really sad, is that the other photographer was nowhere near the standard of the non-social media experts.
That's
you know
correct.
what I mean? That's horrendous.
I think this is what the traditional photographers, the ones that aren't on social media, are getting upset about. Because what's happening is the world is changing and has changed. So, I mean, for example, Brooklyn Beckham, who is now classes himself as a photographer, he spent about 2 months at college and gave up.
Dad bought him a Leica straight away, didn't
absolutely, but he's got he's had a contract with BMW to highlight their car, and a contract with another company to highlight something else. And the pictures he took were my 10-year-old could take just as good pictures, but it's Brooklyn Beckham.
I'm really sorry if you're listening to this, Brooklyn.
No, I'm not having a go. But what I'm saying is not. I'm not calling the guy, but
you are.
I am. But the only reason he got the contracts was because he's Brooklyn Beckham.
Of course, yeah.
And you know, if
it's just marketing, isn't it?
If Gareth Danks gets 1 million followers on Instagram, you are going to be inundated with offers.
Of course you are.
That is frustrating for your traditional photographers who may have been spent 20 years doing it, because you're suddenly successful and you're getting booked up, and maybe they're not. But that unfortunately the world is changing.
Because I don't have time for Instagram and stuff, and Twitter. I'm dreadful on Twitter, I really am. But Instagram, for me, I do it for my clients, and if I have to take photographs and try and push their reach, I suppose it is. That's what it's all about, isn't it? The last thing I want to do is go through my images and do the same. If you jump on my Instagram, there's next to none of my street images on there. There's loads of images that don't make a video, so no one sees them. But don't go on social media. I don't print them. I don't even see them. So there's loads of pictures I could put on there. I just ain't got time for it.
How many followers have you got on Insta?
6.5.
Yeah, the thing
Literally.
is
I don't know the half is.
for me.
Nearly 10 people.
For me, because you mentioned ego massaging. Yeah. I know when people listen and think you're talking rubbish, but I didn't do YouTube to massage my ego, and I don't post on Instagram to massage my ego. What I love is I've been posting more woodland images, and then the people that follow me on YouTube and on Instagram are going out and shooting woodland. So if you went out and you starred a little bit more, put a few more images on Insta of your street shots, that may well inspire people to go out.
But do they see it? I mean, half the people I'm influenced by on social media, or especially Instagram, I don't even know. At the end of my street videos, I always feature the people that use the hashtag #street_gas and Instagram. It's a hashtag I set up. And most of the people, they're amazing. I've got 1 or 2 street photographers that feature a lot in my videos because they're really good photographers. Their names are on Instagram. I'm like, I don't even know what his name is. It's something underscore hash, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, how is that
Hash
ever
brown.
going to make you hash brown?
Hash brown.
I'm never ever going to know this guy's name, even though I feel like I know him because I've looked at loads of his pictures and featured him in some of my videos. And it's like, it's this brand awareness that Instagram is partly capable of doing. And then you're not even using your name. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about brand awareness. I'm talking about something different. I'm not talking about. I'm not trying to sell Paul Johnson on Instagram. I'm trying to encourage people to see a normal Joe Bloggs taking an image and think that's a nice image. I'm going to go there and I'm going to try that. And that's possibly my driver.
I'd like people watching or listening to this to put in the comments to let us know what their take on social media is and what they think they get from it, and what because there's a lot of people, and our Instagram actually decided to get rid of the likes, didn't they? It's never happened, but they said they were going to get rid of the likes.
They haven't yet, though, have
No,
they?
they
They have in certain countries.
That's Australia, but
but
and then it
not
went over
here.
to America, but it never happened. It happened in Australia for a brief while, but I don't think it stayed. But the idea was so people didn't get upset and mental health issues from it. Now I completely relate to that, not through my Instagram, but for my clients, because they'll say, Gareth, why is your Instagram getting so many likes, and why are we not getting that? Because their industry doesn't work on Instagram.
No.
For example, the piano industry doesn't work on Instagram.
No.
There's no. If you get 100 likes on one of my images on Instagram, but they don't get that. They're like, Gareth, why have some of your pictures get like hundreds and hundreds of likes and loads of comments, loads of engagement, and you can't express that, you can't explain it because it's not quantifiable, is it? So
It is infectious, though, you must admit. When you start,
it is
infectious, and there's nothing nicer than putting a picture on that is well received. At the end of the day, equally, it's really annoying if you put a really nice picture on that's not well received.
I think you've got to take it with a pinch of salt. Like any social media, it's like YouTube. I mean, I don't post anywhere near as regularly these days. And you drop off, as soon as you start post regularly and your algorithm plays out, you drop off the planet, and suddenly somebody else becomes the bigger YouTuber.
No one will ever replace you.
No, replace the hats. But it's a breath of fresh air to realise that you're popular as long as you're posting. It's the same with Instagram. You're popular as long as you're posting. But another flip side to that is that you were mentioning these street photographers who've got strange Instagram. What I find with Instagram, what's really interesting is there's some awesome photographers that nobody knows about.
Of course, yeah.
That are just as good
don't play the algorithm.
as Paul G. Johnson, YouTuber, if not
so
better.
true.
Yeah.
And a lot of the influencers, in inverted commas, of people, whether it's street photography, whether it's landscape photography, whether it's woodland photography, have become popular off the back of YouTube and their personality. And there are people out there that are just as good, if not better, in those genres. But that can say, as I said to you off camera, that the same thing can be said for pop stars. There are Tom Joneses singing in pubs every weekend that are better, but possibly than Tom Jones is. But Tom Jones is the famous one because he's got the publicity and he's sold the records. Yeah. So you can't complain.
Yeah, but there is counter arguments to that, though. You make your own luck at the end of the day.
Yeah.
There are people who will post and post and post, and inevitably the chances are that they're going to be more popular.
Of course.
Only on social media.
Of course.
I'm not saying they're better photographers.
No, you're dead right. I mean, the thing is that Adele, the pop star, was more popular Scylla who sings at the local pub because she's got talent. And she's worked hard. Nobody's knocking.
It's the
for
charisma.
that.
It's the charisma with Adele, though, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is I think that might be where you see some of the bitterness with your more traditional togs who aren't on YouTube. That say, well, I've been doing it for 25 years, and these people come along and they can't take a good image, and now they're getting 60, 70.
Well, do yourself a favour and get yourself on social media and build up your social media.
But I don't know, because I can't recommend it. I couldn't recommend, like, my son Ellis, who's obviously very, very young now, but in years to come, I worry about it because I think social media for me does worry me. It does stress me out. It does, even though I'm big enough and ugly enough and hopefully mature enough to know that it's pathetic and you shouldn't be getting upset about this sort of thing, but when you put a lot of effort into something and you see other people doing it and it's like, hang on, why is it working so much better for them? It does. I don't think anybody is completely oblivious to the effect of social media. I think if it's Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is, I think there's always something that you can't, because you can't control what's going on. You can't control what you see on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and you can't control the reaction that other people are doing or the positive that some people, the success that other people are doing, and sometimes it's difficult. And it's everybody would love to down their job and think, I want to be an influencer like this person. He's doing it really, really well, but sometimes it's like, hang on, why is this person doing so well? Why is mine not doing so well? What am I missing? So I find it really, really worrying.
I think that you've hit on a good point there. But the thing is if you're worrying because it's your business, that's a big difference. But it shouldn't worry you as a person. But if you're putting a lot of effort in and not getting a return, that's indicating that business model's not working for you.
I think everybody puts a lot of effort in. I think everybody does. Everybody's addicted these days to social media. And it's mostly positive because the engagement and the friends that you make and the opportunities and just where you can go, the things you would discover that you didn't know existed because of like small ads that will come up. You think, I didn't even know that city existed. It's new. It's dead cheap. Let's go there. Like, so there's things like that happen through social media that you would never have discovered.
I agree. But
look at that tree. Didn't know that existed.
That's what I was saying. That's what I use social media for. And when I did this talk at Batley, I had a list of what I use when I'm planning a shoot. And one of them is Instagram. Another one is Flickr and various other things. And another one is YouTube to inspire me to get out and shoot. But it's not. Funnily enough, I keep saying it, but it's not a job for me. It's a passion and it's a hobby. But even in my professional life, I don't use social media at all. And one of my patients actually said to me, I went on Google to Google you, and you come up loads as a photographer, but not in your job. I said, because I don't need to. No, I don't need to. My referrals come through by word of mouth, or just one thing, which is Google Ads, and that's it. And so I don't use social media for my job, so I am lucky that I don't need to. But social media itself, these days, if you are, I think you'll agree, if you are going to be a professional photographer or you are going to be an influencer on YouTube, you've got to, it's vital. Yeah, of course. And I
hope the bubble would have burst a bit, though, to be honest.
I don't think it will.
I don't think it's just getting bigger and bigger.
It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Because when it first came out, and one of my customers remember saying, look, this is what they're doing, is there anything you can do for us? And I said, well, absolutely, yeah, no worries. I looked at some of these premium, like Bentley and BMW, and you see on their social media, they're sharing the lowest quality images that they're new. They'll sell a car to someone, he'll do a selfie with his new car and his dog on the seat or whatever, and they'll put that on their social media. I'm thinking, hang on, you've got this premium brand that you've now just put this trash photograph on.
They're not bothered.
But that's what I'm saying. And my customer would look at me and say, well, we want photographs, but we don't want that standard. I think, this is Bentley, this is Rolex, this is BMW. They're happy to have these crap images on their social media. Yet my customer would always want that's fine, because obviously I wouldn't get paid otherwise, but they would want the best quality Instagrammable and but then it doesn't look real. It doesn't look, now the whole point of social media is it looks real. It doesn't look polished. It doesn't look like,
but they're more concerned about content, aren't they, and storytelling.
It's like, this is a genuine owner.
Yeah.
Why would a genuine owner be there to pick up a car when there's a photographer just happened to be there to take photographs with his flash and lighting right? It just wouldn't happen. Where if it was a selfie or a dreadful phone camera or whatever like that, and it looks real or looks believable, that's what most businesses wanted. But a few of my customers were like, no, we want that, the idea of it. We want the idea that somebody just picked up that product, but it needs to be, like, well, that's not how social media works. And it's like, so I had a bit of a job trying to get their standard of photography down. And I said, look, you're going to have to take some phone. I'll edit them a little bit or whatever, because they can't really do social media. But it's weird. It's a weird one.
You're dead right. I mean, if let's pick somebody who's not somebody famous, but David Beckham. If David Beckham,
never heard of him.
Yeah, right. Because I've called his
Picked on
son.
his son.
Because
Now
I've
we're gonna
picked
pick on
on
his
his son.
dad.
If he's there and he takes a picture and he's in front of a Yamaha piano, they're going to sell Yamaha pianos. It doesn't matter because the exposure there. Oh, David Beckham, he's got a Yamaha, so I'm going to get one. He's got a Bentley, so I'm going to get one. And unfortunately, that's the way life is.
Yeah, but it's been like that since the dawning of time, though, isn't it?
But I just think
and that'll never
pressure on
change.
everybody. Like now, even though one of my friends put a photograph of her, she just got engaged, put a photograph of an engagement ring, but she felt it necessary to do the photograph of her engagement ring sitting in a Mercedes car with the steering wheel on the background. So she took the engagement ring with a Mercedes car steering wheel. I was like, you literally went out of your way to go and sit in your car to take that picture. It's a dreadful photograph because obviously with the black it overexposed the steering wheel and all that sort of thing. No technical ability at all.
Mercedes as
but
well,
it's about the fact that it's brand new Mercedes steering wheel, brand new engagement ring. Look at me, sort of thing. And it's like, wow, that I can't.
Yeah, but you must admit, on the other hand, though, social media, when it works well. When it works, if you can make it work for you, then it works well.
You have to know how to filter.
I'd say this: if you were going to be a professional photographer and you wanted to you do workshops and you wanted to sell that as a brand, then YouTube, for example, has got to be a must, hasn't it?
It is, but how would you get people on your YouTube channel? Because unless you
have the personality.
But that's not an overnight thing. Whereas if you went on Instagram or you went on Facebook ads, you can literally spend say like 150 quid a day and bring in a tremendous amount of traffic to a page you've just created. Whereas if you built a website, you would have no web authority at all. So again, you'd have to do the whole ad campaign and push your way to the top. A lot of businesses won't touch businesses that are paid to the top. They'll only use the organic listings. So it's catch-22 in a way, because like you think, well, okay, all of a sudden I want to start taking my landscape or my street photography seriously. Somebody, a business advisor says, well, what's your Instagram following? Well, you tell them, you're like, all right, well, if you can double that, we've got something. You're like, now I've got this pressure. I didn't realise this is now serious. Instagram is even more stressful than it was before. I've really got to take this seriously. So there must be a reason why these really intelligent influencers are dedicating so much time to it. I just don't understand it.
That's because it's all free, though, isn't it? It's free. It's like pushing a company ranking.
But the time's not free. If you're going to spend a lot of time doing it.
No, absolutely not. No, that's what you have to weigh up. You could sit there and do no social media whatsoever, but spend £500 a month in AdWords, which is probably what you do. Because like you say, you're boasting the fact that you don't even need to worry about doing social media for work.
I'm not boasting.
No, but it is a good thing to do to say that, look, I don't spend a penny.
You do have to do it.
Yeah. But if you put more effort into your social media aspect and get a following for what you do, then you could cut back on your £500 a month, or even get rid of your £500 a month. But then you've got to weigh that up with the amount of time it takes.
Absolutely.
Here's a question for you. Here's a question for you. For your business, do you, and I know a lot of people do this religiously, right? Do you allocate X amount of time a day for social media, as in just for posting and the occasional reply to comments, or do you just do it as a whim and as and when?
I just do it pretty much all the bloody time. I'm nearly always on it.
On social media?
Yeah. So if I'm not working,
but I find the difficult thing for me with Instagram is you have to post from your phone. I know somebody said that recently there's a way of doing it through a website.
Can do it. Yeah, you
and
can
it's
do
a faff.
it.
But I'm like, surely if they want you to use it professionally, you want it.
It's weird.
I would be able to do it if I wasn't on my phone. I've got my laptop in front of me. If I could do right, I'm on my lunch break. I'm going to take 10 minutes to do Instagram posts and stuff, or schedule. I used to use Hootsuite and stuff like that to schedule posts for commercial clients. So I'd be able to do that. But then I'm thinking, It's hard to justify it.
Personally, if I was doing it and I was doing it to build a brand, to build a Gary Goff or to build Gareth Danks and YouTube following, I would be selective. I don't see the reason why you want to be posted to Twitter all the time.
They say you should just do one well.
I would Instagram would be possibly there, and Facebook less and less. But if you look at the big influencers now, so and I'll mention the name Thomas Eaton, for example. He posts on Instagram regularly. He used to post on Twitter more regularly, and he used to post on Facebook more regularly. And I don't think he does the Twitter or the Facebook that much anymore. And it's more he'll post to Instagram and obviously his YouTube following. But maybe that's because he's now a lot bigger and he's just targeting where he wants to. But if I was going to be developing my brand as Paul G. Johnson, it would be Instagram and concentrating entirely on the YouTube channel.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was. A good friend of mine, one of 3 people I'm thinking of, used to run workshops. Used to take people out and experiencing the local area. And he said about 2 years ago, something happened with the algorithms. He used to get X amount of, say, like 500 likes or followers on his Facebook page, his business page, which he never paid for, organically. He said about 2 years ago, it just stopped. And then he actually put a post, he's really stressed about it. He put a post on his page saying, guys, is there something wrong? Is there something that's going on there? And he was really phoning me up. I think I know it was. He says, I'm really worried about it. Is something happening? I said, no, it's because I think whoever's in charge of making money from Facebook have now decided, unless you're paying for this exposure, you're not getting it, because originally it was you could get it generically, you could get it free.
Organically. No,
they changed it. They changed it all with Instagram just recently.
He was overnight
exactly
really,
the same.
really worried about it, because like, hang on, I sell calendars, I do workshops. He's got family and stuff. He's like, all of a sudden, I woke up and I've got no new likes, no new followers, and stuff. I was thinking, hang on, that's a different league of. You don't see social media like that, do you? You see it as a bit like, what's Bob doing this weekend? Like,
but isn't that the hypocrisy? Because Zuckerberg has always said that he never wanted Facebook to be ad driven.
Exactly right.
And so something has happened somewhere. And that's probably the pressure of
shareholders. No, it's all changed. Instagram has changed just recently as well.
Yeah, well, it's owned by Facebook, isn't it?
It's owned by Facebook, So, and the reason being, because people who use it as a business tool, they want to try and drag you away from, okay, so you've got 100,000 followers, but now when you post a picture, that picture is no longer going to your 100,000 followers, because they want now you to receive less traffic, which means you're going to have to put your hand in your pocket and start paying for ads.
What's interesting is with Instagram, because my followers have increased quite a lot since I've been posting my own stuff since Christmas, is the number of these automated comments. Forex trading. I never used to get those.
YouTube's got this.
I never used to get them, and now in the last few weeks, because I'm approaching 4,000, I think, I'm getting loads. And the other thing is the number of companies that are contacting me, saying, we've noticed your growth on Instagram. Do you want to work with us? And I'm only at 4,000, so God knows what these people like.
I had one
20,
yesterday
30,000.
saying that you're considering the amount of followers on Instagram. You should be getting more engagement on your images. Click on this link and we'll sell you basically some more. I was thinking, hang on, you're basically telling me that I've got too many followers because I've obviously bought them, right? And I've not got the engagement because I've obviously bought them, right? So here's a link for me to actually go and buy some.
Does anybody know about this buying followers?
I've been approached loads about it, but no, I don't.
Because I would presume it'd just be
they're robots.
A robot.
They're not going to like your or comment or anything like that. No. But I was talking. Chris Hale's getting it as well. Another YouTuber. People saying, "Fantastic video. If you want to learn more about photography, click on this link." And I thought, well, hang on. This is the first time. I thought, well, click on it, have a look. I think he had 30 subscribers or something like that, and there's no content. I thought, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Oh, a couple of days later, another one. I reckon in about 2 weeks, I've had 30. From different names
on YouTube.
On YouTube, different names, but the same message saying, like, if you want to improve your, and obviously you'll report it as spam, but it's obviously coming from a different name. So, but there's still.
I've given up reporting to Instagram as spam because nothing ever happens. No. Still getting them, so I just had to delete them.
Yeah, but you won't get from the same person, or will you?
No, different names. Different bots, different accounts all the time.
Bots.
Yeah, but as much as we're sounding negative towards social media, you must remember when it works well.
Incredible.
I mean, for
do
instance,
you think we're being negative? I don't.
Well, I don't think we're sounding as positive as perhaps we could be, and there is a positive element to social media.
Yeah, because I've got some friends who are doing extremely well with with opportunities coming from manufacturers. They get given gear, they get asked to go and visit. I mean, I get asked to
No,
to do stuff as well. And it's really nice. It's really nice. It shows appreciation and stuff like that. And I've got some friends, like, I mean, if I wanted to do street photography in Calcutta, I've got a guy who comments on my pictures, and he ever says, "If you ever come to India, let me know. I'll show you around." So the things like that, you're like, wow,
you can marry my sister.
I'm not being social media negative. What I'm saying is I'd be really interested who they're being approached by, from what platform. So YouTube will, particularly if you've got the engagement and the comments on YouTube, which I still have, is a great thing is I've got a core set of people who will watch me even after 2 months of putting a video out and will comment. The companies see that and see the engagement and then will approach you. Yeah. Same on Instagram, but I'd be interested in your friends, what platforms those sponsors are seeing them on. Because
always Instagram. They're massive Instagrammers.
So that's what I mean.
They do like 20 stories a day.
So if I was concentrating,
I kid you not, they literally do 20 stories.
I wouldn't be worried about Facebook. I think it's a waste of time, and I wouldn't be worried about Twitter. If I was going to concentrate a business model, it would be Insta and it would be YouTube.
You say that about Facebook, but the last couple of sort of portraits and weddings and them sort of events that have come in have actually been, I've been a friend of yours for years. You're always posting really nice photographs. Can you do this for me? So I do get work from Facebook, and I don't advertise at all. I'll actually mention something that somebody, it was actually Sean Tucker that told me this. He was really, I think, reading a book, and he said that always aim for the 1,000 subscribers or something like that. I think it was. It basically concentrate on 1,000 subscribers. So even if you've got 10 or 20 or 100,000 subscribers or followers or whatever, the smaller concentrated group are the people, he said, that they're the ones that are actually going to engage with you. You might have 10,000 followers, 10,000 subscribers, but he said you'll have, say, if you get to 1,000 people will either comment or engage with you, or actually feel like they're human, or even if you're having a workshop or if you're going to sell something, that even if you've got 100,000 subscribers, if you've got 1,000 that are prepared to actually purchase something from you or actually show you value, he says you're succeeding. And that's true. I think that's something I knew, but completely got overlooked by the numbers and completely forgot about the principle.
He's dead right. He's absolutely spot on. But also, he's just to wrap up, is possibly remember loyalty. When people are that 1,000 subscribers are going to be there with you through thick and thin. Yeah. And that's why I love the
quality, not
subscribers.
quantity.
Yeah, that's why I love my subscribers. The people that watch me, which is about 5,000 or 6,000, will watch every time I put a video out, and I think they're awesome for doing it.
Let's do a follow up on this on the next video.
Yeah,
because I've got some comments I'd like to make on that as well.
Next video is on you. Yeah. So I send it now.
That's it. Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.